Hey everyone, welcome back. Alright, so today we are going to start on a project to replace the battery-backed RAM in my HP 54600 series scopes that I own. I have three of these scopes. I have a 100 megahertz scope, 2-channel. I have a 60 megahertz scope, also 2-channel. And I have a logic analyzer. All three of these use a Dallas DS1225Y non-volatile battery-backed RAM. These chips are old, and there's no way to update the batteries in them. The batteries they're encapsulated in the entire chip, and once the battery dies, that's it. You're kind of screwed. So you can still buy them, but you're still dealing with a battery and something. So what I have here sitting on the bench at the moment is these are some ferromagnetic RAMs. It's got a part number of 16W8SG, and these will work as a replacement for the Dallas RAM chips. You just got to get them in a form factor that you can plug into your circuit board. So what I have here are, I got these on Tindy, and someone has put together an adapter board. And we can solder on the FRAM chip, put some pin headers on it, and they claim that it is a drop-in replacement. So we're going to see if that's really the case. Zoom out a little bit here. So I've opened these and taken a look at them. Wanted to see what they look like. Let's take a peek. And here they are. So obviously, there will be some soldering involved. There will be some surface mount soldering involved, and this is not my real forte, but we're going to give it a try. Yeah, so let's get to it. All right, and we're back. All right, so I've got one of the FRAM chips here. I've got one of the adapter boards. I've got my little USB hot plate here. This was like $20-something. I've played with it a little bit. Let me zoom out a bit. It's not bad. So we're gonna see if we can't use this to solder up what we're doing. But first things first. Let me zoom back. Is we got to get this chip on the board. We have solder paste. Let's see how that looks here. Well, it's across all the pads, so I'm going to declare that a win for the moment. All right, let's get the chip situated on there. All right, I'm going to put my faith in capillary action that this is going to work. So let's turn this on. If we look, we can see it now says work, and the temperature should be coming up to 230 C. It's up to 140. So let's put the board on here. looks like I hit all the pins. So let's take this off of here. Let's turn this off. All right, we'll let that cool down. And let's maybe go in with the regular soldering iron. See if we can't clean up some of this.
I've got a generous amount of solder with here. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, we definitely got a little bit too much going on there. Alright, that looks better. Alright, clean that up. Okay. Oh, alright, that doesn't look too bad over there. Let's see. This side, looking a little janky. A little solder with. Get that little blob off of there. Alright. So.
Got the chip on in the right direction. Let's hold it up and take a look here. That looks pretty good. And let's see if I can get that little blob out from under there. And otherwise, that side looks pretty good as well. Huh. Well, that might actually work. All right. So step one is done. We've got the chip on the board. Now what we need to do is put some header pins on it. All right, we're back. I spared you the pain of watching me finish soldering up the one chip, and while we were away, I soldered up the second one. So we've got two of these modules here now, and they look pretty good. Don't know if they'll work, but we're going to find that out. So these are supposed to be drop-in replacements, as it shows, for the DS1225Y NVRAM chip. And before I unsolder anything from the main board of my oscilloscope, I want to test them out. So I'm going to pull out the EPROM programmer that I have, and we're going to drop these chips in. The programmer will support programming non-volatile RAM. So by rights, if I select on it that I want to program a DS1225Y, I should be able to drop these in, put some data on them, and it should work. So I'm going to set that up, and when we come back, we're going to do a little EPROM burning, or in this case, FRAM burning. So sit tight. All right, we're back. I've got my EPROM burning setup set here. This is an old Dell laptop, and my programmer is an Andromeda Research AR-32A. This connects to a parallel port on the back of the machine. As you can see, I'm sitting here in DOS, good old DOS, and I've been using this for years now for my programming. It supports literally everything, so very happy with it. Don't mind having a separate computer that I use for it, because that's all that I use this machine for. So we're going to start up the software here, and what it does is it scans the drive, sets up a buffer that it uses for programming. So just got to wait for it to get to FF. E, E, and F. And we're in. So this is the programming software. I've gone through and I've already set the device to a DS1225, which is what we're looking to replace. Dip switches handle routing of the signals. I've already set the dip switches for it. So let's go through each of our modules that are here and let's take a look at them. I'm going to put them in, lock them down, and let's start with verifying if they're erased. So let's do 6, device and socket, and it says this is not erased, which, okay, probably some garbage in it. So let's see if we can read it. So we'll do a read. It says it's read the device, and we can look at what it read in. It's got some zeros. It's got a 7F in there. So let's do this. Clearing out EPROMs and whatnot, when they're considered erased, they're considered as having FF written to them. So let's clear out the buffer size, clear out the buffer to FF, and then let's see if we can program the chip. So we're going to program it from the buffer. We're going to say yes. Programmed, verifying, says it's correct. So if we go to the buffer and clear it to zeros, give this a second, C, D, E, F. Okay. And now if we read the chip into the buffer here, we'll do a 3 and we'll say yes. It's reading, and if we go back in and look at the buffer, we can see that it read FFs into it. So that looks good. So let's see if we can write something that is a little more meaningful to it. We're going to do program device from a file. And let's take a look. Do I have a file name already set up here? So inserts recall. Yes, test file bin. So before we do that, let's load a file into the buffer here. It's been a while here. Read disk file into buffer 4. We're going to read it normally. We're going to load the test file. So what's good about the test file is that it's actually got a pattern that we can recognize easily. So let's take a look, and here's what it's going to write out. Andromeda Research test file. And it's got a whole bunch of pages of stuff here. So let's program from the buffer. Program, yes. Okay, that looks good. Let's look at the buffer. Let's clear the buffer. And let's read from the chip. So we're going to read device into buffer, yes. Go back and look at the buffer, and it looks good. So I think this module is going to work. Let's check the next one. Let's see here. We can verify if it's erased. Device in stock. Says it's not, which makes sense. You know what? Let's just read it. Let's see what's in it. Yep, this has got all zeros. So I think we're just going to try programming it. I don't think we're going to go through all the other steps there. So let's load our file. So what's good about this that we're doing now, as far as the programmer here is concerned, this is a Dallas DS1225 non-volatile RAM chip. Didn't tell us anything that it's a ferromagnetic RAM or anything. It's just thinks it's the chip that we want to replace. And let's program it. Program, verifying, says it's correct. Let's clear the buffer. And let's read it. And there we go. Just like before. All right. So I'm willing to declare success here at the moment. We have 2 replacement FRAMs, and I can put one of these in each of the scopes. I'll solder up one more for a third so that we can do all 3 scopes. But I think that's going to be it for now. Let me just zoom in again. So here they are. Like I said, I bought the boards off of. I didn't get the boards on Tindy. I'm sorry. I got the boards off of PCBWay, and I can put a link in the description to them. I can also put a link to the Mouser part number for the FRAM chips. None of this was terrible. You know, the boards, I got a whole batch of the boards. I think I got like 10 of them for like $5. So I've got more than enough of these. The FRAM chips, I think, are a couple bucks a piece. Cheaper than the Dallas non-volatile RAM replacements. And so the next video, we'll crack open one of my scopes, and we'll do a little surgery and get one of these installed. So until then, questions, comments, put them below, like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And I will see you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye.